Now, one of the most important traits a 00 agent must have is anonymity. He must be able to lose himself in any crowd and must never be recognized by a potential enemy. 007 is no different. But he has a specialist who takes care of his wardrobe. She is Special Agent Lindsay Hemming. And here she is, to explain the difficulty of hiding 007 at major social events.
Well, there were 500 extras.
It's time to begin the festivities.
The minimum was 500, I think, to fill the space. We did a kind of product placement thing. Barbara Broccoli gave us permission to use real models to wear the stuff. We were allowed to hire 20 elite models and dress them. We put feelers out to all designers, starting with people like Thierry Mugler, who worked with us on GoldenEye, and Catherine Hamnett, Vivienne Westwood, Moschino, Kenzo. Everybody, they were wonderful. They all sent pieces of their collections to us. Then I designed and had made by Angels a whole set of other clothes which were meant to be modern and fashionable and slightly glittery, so that we'd get a little bit of, we used reflective fabrics and we used some of the hologram fabrics and things like that, so that we'd get sparkle in among the crowd.
Outstanding. I admire a woman who takes the initiative.
And we got really the best of the extras, that, the nicest looking extras from the extras agency that we could, to wear them. We just tried to control it all the time and make sure that people who came in front of the camera had the best clothes.
I always wondered how I'd feel if I ever saw you again. Was it something I said?
How about the words, "I'll be right back"?
Tried to make sure that the menswear was more colourful than the usual plain tuxedo. Had some suits made for men out of African fabric. It's easy. I mean, the thing is, if you're designing for a character, it's not so easy, because you have to really spend time talking to the actor and think how it works in the script and everything. But if you're just designing things that you like or you think would look good, it's much easier. You just choose fabrics you like and have them made in sizes that seem appropriate, and then find people to wear them. I just enjoyed myself.
On his last assignment, 007 had access to BMW's new 1170cc motorcycle. And when I say new, I mean new. Why, he had it even before the vehicle was released to the general public. It has high handlebars, low seat, forward-mounting front pegs, and a twin engine. It's £10,000 worth of German engineering at its best. Now, any experienced driver would love it. But it is not a stunt motorcycle. Unfortunately, the limitations of a vehicle rarely interest 007. I know that Commander Bond is fully licensed to drive any vehicle known to mankind. But I do believe there's a strong argument for having him retested. Anyway, taking us through Bond's abuse of the motorcycle are Agent Director Roger Spottiswoode, who you've already met, and Special Agent Alan Cameron. This is their report.
I felt, having seen GoldenEye, was that they had a wonderful sequence with a tank in it. We have to try and come up with something that's as good. And I didn't know how to put him in a bigger vehicle, so I thought I'd better do the opposite and put him in the most vulnerable, fragile position, and a motorcycle was that. He has one hand on the handlebar. She has the other hand on the handlebars, which makes it more interesting.
What are you...
Give me that!
Clutch, clutch, clutch!
Turn right!
No, left!
Who's driving?
My name's Alan Cameron. I'm the production designer on the latest James Bond film. Quite a major chase sequence takes place in Ho Chi Minh City. We pick Bond up after he's gone across the rooftops. He comes into this room. There's a helicopter flying down the street. The motorbike leaps across the helicopter.
Most of our stunts are actually done. We weren't going to do that at all. We were going to do that in a computer. And then we have this great driver, this French driver, and he said, no, I want to do it. We all cringed and said, no. And he talked us into it, and then he did it.
And then he races on his motorbike along all these balconies. It's a heavy motorbike, and the balconies are all collapsing. And then he leaps off the balcony down into a market sequence.
I thought the pursuers had to be somewhat special. So I thought maybe a helicopter. Take a helicopter through the market. And use the blades to cut up everything inside. And use the blades finally at the end of the chase to cut them in half.
Trapped.
So it will become a kind of David and Goliath situation at the end.
Never.
Oh, I do wish he'd grow up. And I'm not the only one. Both Commander Bond and myself have to answer to the same person, M. In nearly 40 years of service, she's only the third superior I've had. And I must say that she's been a most excellent leader. She also has a life outside of the job, which is something I never imagined possible. Nevertheless, it's not interfered with her work, as far as I can see. Her hobby is amateur dramatics. And by all accounts, she's very good. As also is her secretary, the ever-helpful Moneypenny.
IDs.
But it's quite difficult to play a woman who is so much in authority.
Our Singapore station picked up a mysterious signal on the GPS frequency at the time of the attack.
In a kind of feminine way, I suppose.
I have a missing British frigate.
I'm aware of that.
And instead of decisive action, all you want to do is
My
investigate.
goal is to prevent World War III, Admiral.
I find it quite difficult, but I've got some jolly nice lines to say.
With all due respect, Tim, sometimes I don't think you have the balls for this job.
Perhaps. The advantage is I don't have to think with them all the time.
That's enough.
You're not really aware of the size of the film when you're doing it, but you are aware of the size of the set. I mean, here's this one we're sitting, this huge set. The operations room in the Ministry of Defense. I have to keep reminding myself that this is not real. That, you know, you see screens and you see people dressed up as naval officers and things, and it can completely overwhelm you. Or it certainly overwhelms me. And yet you look at the back of it and you think, just it's a lot of old wood, really. It is a bit nerve-wracking that you know you've got to get it done in 5 days, but everybody on the crew is very, very organised. It's not really my worry that I've got to get it in. It's Roger Spottiswood's worry and the crew, who are phenomenal.